Have you ever wondered why brilliant minds sometimes make baffling decisions? Or why logical arguments often fail to sway deeply held beliefs? The answer lies not in a deficit of intelligence, but in the subtle, pervasive influence of what scientists call cognitive biases. These aren't flaws in our character, but systematic patterns of deviation from rationality and judgment, often serving as mental shortcuts our brains employ to process overwhelming information quickly. They are the silent architects of our reality, shaping our perceptions, beliefs, and decisions in ways we rarely recognize. For centuries, philosophers believed humans were rational beings, capable of objective thought, but modern psychology paints a far more complex picture. Our minds aren't cold, calculating machines. They are intricate tapestries woven from emotions, experiences, and a myriad of ingrained shortcuts designed for efficiency. While often beneficial, these shortcuts can lead us astray, distorting our understanding of events, people, and even ourselves. Consider, for instance, the confirmation bias. This is perhaps one of the most powerful and insidious of all biases. It describes our natural tendency to seek out, interpret, and remember information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. Imagine someone convinced a particular political party is inherently corrupt. They will actively seek news stories, social media posts, or anecdotes supporting this view, while effortlessly dismissing or rationalizing away any evidence to the contrary. This isn't conscious deception. It's an automatic filtering mechanism. The internet, with its echo chambers and personalized algorithms, has amplified confirmation bias, making it easier than ever to live in a world where our beliefs are constantly affirmed and dissenting opinions rarely encountered. Then there's the availability heuristic. This bias suggests we tend to overestimate the likelihood or frequency of events that are easily recalled from memory. If you've recently heard numerous news reports about plane crashes, you might perceive air travel as far more dangerous than it statistically is, even if you know the numbers. The vividness and recency of the information make it more available to your mind, overriding objective data. This is why sensationalized media reporting can profoundly impact public perception of risk. Whether it's about crime rates or specific types of accidents, our brains mistakenly equate ease of recall with actual prevalence. The anchoring bias demonstrates how an initial piece of information, even if arbitrary, can profoundly influence subsequent judgments. Think about negotiating the price of a car or a house. The first number mentioned, the anchor, can set the range for all subsequent discussions, even if it's ridiculously high or low. If the seller starts with an exorbitant price, even a significant discount still feels like a good deal, simply because it's relative to that initial, high anchor. This bias is heavily exploited in marketing. We're original. Inflated prices displayed next to a sale price to make the deal seem more attractive. Another powerful bias is the framing effect. This highlights how the way information is presented can drastically alter our choices, even when the underlying objective information remains the same. Consider a medical treatment. Would you rather be told it has a 90% survival rate or a 10% mortality rate? Logically, these statements convey identical information. Yet, studies consistently show people are far more likely to opt for the treatment when it is framed in terms of survival. Our brains react differently to positive and negative framing, demonstrating that our rationality is often swayed by presentation rather than pure content. The sunk cost fallacy causes us to continue an endeavor, even when it's clearly failing or no longer optimal, simply because we've already invested significant time, money, or effort into it. We've sunk costs, and abandoning that investment feels like a waste, even if continuing means throwing good money after bad. This can manifest in staying in a failing business, continuing a dead-end relationship, or even finishing a terrible movie just because you paid for the ticket. Rationality would dictate cutting your losses, but the emotional pull of past investment can be overwhelmingly strong. Then there's the hindsight bias, often encapsulated by the phrase, "I knew it all along." After an event has occurred, we tend to overestimate our ability to have predicted that outcome, whether it's a stock market crash or a political election. Hindsight bias makes past events seem far more predictable than they actually were. This bias can make us overly confident in our predictive abilities, leading to poor learning from experience, and can also lead to unfair judgments of others. The Dunning-Kruger Effect is a particularly fascinating bias, where individuals with low ability in a domain tend to overestimate their competence, while high-ability individuals often underestimate theirs. It's the paradox of unskilled people being unaware of their own lack of skill, and genuinely competent people doubting their expertise. This can lead to incompetent individuals making bold, misguided decisions, confident in their incorrect assessments, while truly knowledgeable individuals might hold back due to self-doubt. These are just a few examples from a vast catalog of cognitive biases that subtly, yet profoundly, influence every aspect of our lives. They affect our personal choices, from what we buy and who we vote for, to how we judge others and perceive risks. In finance, biases lead investors to make irrational decisions, chasing fads or holding onto losing stocks. In politics, they fuel polarization, making it difficult for opposing sides to find common ground. Advertisers expertly leverage these biases, crafting campaigns that appeal not to our logic, but to our inherent psychological shortcuts. Even science, supposedly the pinnacle of objective inquiry, is not immune. Researchers can fall prey to confirmation bias, seeking data that supports their hypotheses while overlooking contradictory evidence. The recognition of cognitive biases is not a condemnation of human intelligence. It is an invitation to a deeper understanding of our own minds. By becoming aware of these systematic errors in thinking, we gain a crucial tool for critical thinking and more deliberate decision-making. It's an ongoing process, not a destination. We cannot simply turn off our biases, for they are intrinsic to how our brains function. But we can develop strategies to mitigate their impact. One powerful strategy is to actively seek out diverse perspectives and information that challenges our existing views. Engage with people who hold different opinions, not to argue, but to understand. Practice considering the opposite, consciously trying to find reasons why your initial judgment might be wrong. Before making a significant decision, take a moment to reflect on what biases might be at play. Is an easily recalled anecdote swaying your risk assessment? Are you clinging to a project because of sunk costs? Are you only seeing information that confirms what you already believe? The journey to understanding our cognitive biases is a journey towards greater self-awareness and a more nuanced perception of the world. It's about acknowledging that our individual realities are, to a significant extent, constructed by these silent architects of the mind. By bringing these unconscious processes into the light, we empower ourselves to make more informed choices, engage in more constructive dialogue, and ultimately build a more rational and empathetic world. The challenge is immense, but the reward, a clearer, less distorted view of reality, is immeasurable.